This video is just going to go through what I did in class the other day in relation to the mock exam part 1. We've been focusing all along on part 2, which is the day books, the ledgers, the trial balance and the bank reconciliation. But there is a little part 1 to it as well, which is very, very straightforward. The only thing, it takes up a little bit of time. So my suggestion is that when you do the exam, and I'll say this to you on the day as well, that you start off with the part 2, which is the one with the most marks. Part 1 only carries 5 marks, so I would do that once you've everything done on part 2. So there's 3 parts I've put up here on Moodle. The questions, which I gave in a handout, and if you weren't there, you can access the questions in here. The blank template, which is what we do to fill it out, and I've also given you what it would look like once completed. All it is basically, and I'm going to open up the questions. So what you need to do this is you need the questions and you need the blank template. And all it is really is you're just going to write up invoices, a credit note, a check and a remittance based on the information that you're given. So you work for the company ABC Limited and they sell computers and they only sell 2 products and 1 service. Makes life so much easier for us when we're putting in our invoices. And we are given the types of products they have. So they either sell a computer or a printer. They're the product codes. These are the VAT rates and they're the unit price. So 1 computer costs 965, 1 printer 199, and repairs it's 13.5% and it's €30. So what we have to do here is there's once the first sales invoice, the second sales invoice, there's a credit note, and down here then we have a check and a remittance. So what we need to do basically is fill these in the blank templates using this information provided. So the first document, so create the following sales invoices and credit notes using the templates provided for the month of February. So the first thing we have to do is a sales invoice. The number of the invoice is that, the date of the invoice, and then this is who we are invoicing and the product code. So this tells us what Mary Smith bought from us on the 24th of the 2nd. And we can see the product code match what's up here. So I can see the quantity she brought 2 computers and she brought 1 printer. What we need to do now is we need to open up the other file, which you would have had already, and it's the blank template. And when you go to the blank template, this is what you're actually going to get. The blank invoices. So everything you need is in here. All you have to do is go in and type in the information. So you'd put in the address of the person that you're invoicing to, the number of the invoice which we were provided with, the date, the code of the product, and the description you actually get from up here. So if the code is CO22, you put in computer. And I know that the code is in there. The unit price is the 965. The VAT rate is the 23%. And the net amount is the unit price, the 965. And what you do is you fill that in for both those products. And then what you have to do is you add the 2 figures that are up here to get your net. And I'll show you the completed one, what it would actually look like. So I've opened up the 3rd file that's up here on Moodle, the completed, so you can see how it should look. And based on the information on the question, which was here, I took all this information and I wrote it simply into the boxes. And all I did was added up the 1930 and the 199. I wouldn't bother putting the euro symbol in here because it's just going to take too much time. You get your net figure, which is adding the 2 of these up. But remember, it's 2 computers, so it's 2 multiplied by the 965. That's where we get the 1930. 1 printer, so it's 1 multiplied by 199. You can use your phone for this. The calculator on your phone might be the quickest. Then we get 2129, and this is where we add the VAT. Now, based on the question, we could see that they were both 23%. So what you do is it's 2129 multiplied by 23%. And you get your breakdown over here. The 2129 and the 48967 is 23% of that. You add that on to your net and then you get your actual total. Okay, so that's the first one done, and you follow the same format for the rest of them. The only thing is for the The second one, you actually have a repair and you actually have a product. And remember, a repair, the VAT rate is 13.5%. If you have any problem, just refer to the completed one and you can see. So that's the invoice, and you can see now it's 13.5%, which means now you have a slightly different breakdown here. You have a breakdown for the 2895 and you get 23% of that. And then because the repair is 13.5%, it goes down here and you work out 13.5% of the 90. The two of these figures is what gives you the full VAT, and you add the two of them. And then your credit note and so on. So you have access to all of this that's here. And the remittance advice is all the information that's in it. So just to scroll down, this is important. It says you're going to pay the following invoice in full using the date the 2nd of March. The date down here is actually the invoice. So just to be kind of aware of that, that's the invoice you're paying basically. Or yeah, that you're actually paying. And you can see there that it's from you. It's to Murphy Limited. So you're sending them the check. And it's the 2nd of March because you were told the 2nd of March here. The check number, which you got from the check number that you wrote here, which is 10059. And you put the rest of the information in: the invoice number, the invoice date, the description to an invoice, the invoice amount. And I've got all of that from this information here. So really what you're doing in this exercise is you've been given the templates. All you do is you use the information provided and you fill them in. Okay. And again, it's just something that takes a little bit of time. What I would suggest is give this one a go. Give it a go a second time. So that will help you speed up for when you actually do it for real then on the Monday. But again, you're going to do this at the end. If you need more time for this part, I'll give it to you. So that's why prioritize part 2. That's the one that has most marks. And then you give this one a go. If you have any questions, drop me an email. Have a good weekend.